to another craft. Today we're going to be making Owl Corner Bookmarks, which I've already told you are one of my favorite crafts. Just to show you how excited I even brought confetti for today. So grab your supplies and we're going to get started. I'm going to have to deconfetti my workspace. Whew, really is a party in here. I highly recommend making confetti of your own. Awesome. So I did mention that we have this free template on our website. If you go to our Facebook page, there's a link that you can just click on. If you don't have this, that's completely fine too. You can still create today's craft. This just makes it a whole lot easier. Going forward, we're going to try any craft that we have that we feel like a template makes it easier. I'll make sure I make one up just like this and post it so you have that available. But again, don't worry, you can still make today's craft even if you don't have this. So I'm going to review kind of just our supplies, and then today will be a little bit different. First of all, make sure you let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying to talk a little bit louder today so you can hear the directions clearly. And then I'm actually going to switch my camera so you see my workspace, because today we're going to do a lot of folding and matching things up, and it will just be easier for you if you can see what I'm actually doing. So template is the first thing we're going to kind of work on. We're going to cut out these pieces, and then what you will need, 2 pieces of cardstock. I recommend construction paper because it's a little bit easier to fold. 2 pieces, 2 colors. They say contrasting colors. You can use your 2 favorite colors, whatever you want to use. And then if you don't have the template page, you'll need white paper for eyes. You can see here, you're going to need white paper for the eyeballs. And then the last thing we need is some orange paper for the beak. You can also use yellow. You can really use whatever color you want. So just something for the beak as well. Scissors are going to definitely be a must. And then glue stick. Pencil for tracing is what I'm going to use it for. And then your choice of black pen or marker to make the eyeballs, which is one of my favorite parts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my real glasses on so I can actually see what we're making. And I'm going to adjust the camera so we can get started. So go ahead and pull out your template and we'll get started with that. All right. So here we go. So you should be able to see, if you're having a problem seeing again, hearing me or seeing this, feel free to just drop it in the comments and we'll go from there. So I'm going to put real glasses on. Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the body of our owl. So it's this square. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have us build our owl first, so that if you already have these other pieces cut out and you're ahead of us, you'll be able to go ahead and keep working. I'm trying to make this kind of set up so that no matter where you are pace-wise, you can continue with us. Don't worry if at any point you fall behind, because you'll be able to watch this on replay, or I'll be around working and you'll be able to ask questions. So let's go ahead. I'm going to cut out my square. And I'm going to trace it onto whatever color I want to be my body. And I'm also going to show you, if you don't have the template, how to make a square. Because we need it to be an equal square so that the owl is made correctly. Now the only difference, and I'll show you this in just a second. Okay. So if you have the template, go ahead and cut that out. If you don't, my people who don't have templates, let me show you what to do next. Let me move this out of my space. This is what you're going to do. You're going to take your construction paper and you're going to fold one of the corners. I pick my bottom, let's see, I'll do it here for you, your bottom right corner, and pull it up to the top so that it matches. See how this matches right here? I'm gonna have you match it up and fold it. And you can crease it just like that. And then what we're going to do is just cut right here. Right where that line is, you're gonna cut that. So it makes kind of this triangle. I'm gonna get rid of this because we don't need that. So here you can see, it's okay, you can keep this because we're gonna use this fold. This is making a perfect square for you. So the difference, if you are you're just using construction paper and folding like this, you're gonna end up with a bigger owl. If you're using my template, you're gonna end up with a smaller owl. That's the only difference. I like both. I just found that the smaller owl fits a little bit easier on some of the corners of your pages. I'll show you kind of what I mean. This is what it's gonna look like when it's on the corner of your book. But you can also use this one. They both work. So we should all have our bodies. I'm gonna go ahead and trace my template onto, my body is gonna be this bright purple. So I'm just tracing it. It's always easier if you put it in the corner because it's one less side you have to cut. All right. And please do let me know if you feel like I'm going too fast. If you need me to slow down or repeat any directions, definitely do that. When I was learning how to make these, my teacher was going really fast and I kept saying, slow down, slow down. I need to learn this a little bit slower. All right. I'm gonna move this out of our workspace. All right, so we should all have our body. That's what we're gonna work on right now. Does everybody have their body? All right, so what we're going to do is make it look like a diamond. So that means you have a point at the top and a point at the bottom. What we're going to do is we're going to fold the bottom up to the top and make a triangle. And then you're just gonna crease it really well. So I do have some thicker paper here, so I really wanna make my crease. All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this top. So you see you have two flaps. I'm keeping one down. And I'm going to fold just the corner. Make sure you can see that. This top point, I'm folding it down to touch that line. And then you're gonna crease it. Great. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the corner, you can do either one, and we're going to fold it. So bring this corner up to the top one. Let me lift it up for you so you can see. Bring this corner up to the top point. You want to try to keep it as straight as possible. What I mean by that is you want to try to match it up as close as you can to the top. See how I'm trying to make sure these sides are matching and this is straight up my middle? Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other side. We're going to bend the corner, this point, up to meet the top one. So go ahead and bend it, bring it up to the middle, and then crease it really well. So creasing, it just means pushing really hard on the fold. So that's kind of what it should look like. Those two corners are now up there. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions. So what I did was I took those two sides and I pulled them up to the top. All right, so that was actually, we can push them down a little bit now. That was just to make the next step easier, because the next step is a little tricky. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take these corners, so start with whichever one you want, and we're gonna fold it up into this pocket. So I know that's kind of hard to see. I'm taking this corner, I'm gonna fold it up over that triangle and tuck it in. And what I usually do is I use my fingers in here, that's what the inside looks, and I just push it in there. So that's what it looks like. So we're taking the side, we're pushing it up into this fold so that it looks like this. So I'm pushing it up, and then I'm tucking it in. Can you see that? Tucking it in, and then I just use my thumb to keep pushing it down so it's nice and tight, and then I crease it across the top. So that it's tucked, and then that is what the inside looks like. Those are my two corners that I've tucked in there. Great. So now this is the body of our owl. How awesome is that? So the next part is where we get really creative. The next part is where we get to pick the feathers that it wears, the eyes. I'm gonna show you a bunch of different options. That's the thing, I created 3. I wanted to just keep creating because I love all the different eye options. So I'll make sure you see your eye options before you pick what you wanna do. But we have the body created. So if you already have your template cut out, way to go, you're totally ahead and awesome. You can cut these shapes out, that's what I'm gonna do right now, but if you already have them cut out, let me just remind you, your beak, I pick orange or yellow, you can pick whatever you want. Now the wings, it's an oval cut in the middle, so that's why I have that line there, we're gonna cut that. That's what you use for these 2 pieces. And then the outer eyes are the ones that are gonna be the color. And then the inner eyes, we're gonna draw the eyeballs actually in here, and those will be our eyeballs. If you want to keep the black outline, you can. If you wanna cut it off, you can do that as well. I probably will cut mine off, but if you wanna leave it on, it might look really cool. It might even look like glasses, which I'm a huge fan of. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this. If you already have yours done, you can kind of get a jump start. Just use your glue stick and kind of follow along with me to make sure all your pieces are matching up. To my friends who are crafting with us and don't have the template, I would just suggest drawing these shapes on your cardstock or on your construction paper and cutting them out. I had trouble trying to make my circles even, so that's why I like the template. But I would consider cutting one eye and then tracing it so your other eye is close to the same size. That's my tip. Your outer eyes do need to be bigger than your inner eyes. So see how your outer eye, the color, it does need to be bigger than your eyeballs. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start cutting these out and tracing them. Feel free to put in the comments if you have any questions or if you're stuck and need help. I'm happy to go over anything again. I'm probably gonna start with my wings. So if you wanna pick something to trace first, that's where I'm headed. I'm cutting out all these small shapes. I always cut things down to smaller little pieces. It's easier for me with scissors. If you're younger and joining us, I know scissors can be tricky at first, but I promise if you stick with it, they get easier. All right, so I have my scrap paper I can recycle. And then I'm gonna start with my wings. So again, to my friends with no template, it's just an oval. You can see it here. And then we're going to cut it down the middle. So I'm just going to cut my oval. And I'm going to do blue wings. So I know that I'm going to grab my blue paper. And I'm going to trace this. I'm going to do a Sharpie so that you can see it really well. You can use a pencil, pen, colored pencil, crayon, whatever you have in your crafting space. Ta-da! There's my oval. I'm not going to worry about the line down the middle because I'm just going to use my scissors and cut it down. So you can do the same thing. I just put the line there so you know what we're doing. I am going to cut on the inside of my black line because I don't want any of that Sharpie on my wings. I could also flip it over if I want to do that. Great. So I have my oval. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to find the middle. And I'm going to cut it down the middle. So now I have two wings. The eyes are going to be next. So here we have our body. What I suggest doing is putting the glue on your wings. So here's our wing. The best way to think about this is which part of your wing is completely straight. You're right, this side. So that's how I know I'm going to match it up to this side of my owl, because the straight piece is going to match up to the straight piece. That's how you know where it goes. So go ahead, I'm going to do this one, you try one, and then we'll do the next one together. Back with my handy dandy glue stick today. All right, so again, I'm matching the straight side to the straight side of my owl's body. I usually tuck it up in the corner and leave some room down here at the bottom. You can do it however you want, but let me show you here. See with this one that's made, I tucked the wing way up here in the corner and it leaves a little bit of body here. So you should be able to, even now, if you want to move it, you can. You can move it up because it's just glue stick. Owl's flying away on me. So here, I did that. And I'm going to do the next one. So I'm going to tuck it up in the corner. I'm matching the straight side. I'll do it this way, you can see my glue. The straight side to the straight side of the owl. And I'm just going to line that up. And if you need to move it, that's what I have to do with, that's why I'm using the glue stick. You could definitely use liquid glue. And there's our owl's wings. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to use, as you can see here with my other owls that I already made, I'm using the same color for their outer eyes. You can use a different color if you want. That's completely up to you. But I'm going to use the blue for the outer eyes. So I'm going to cut those out and trace them. I think it would be fun to make these owls with like pattern paper too. Maybe something with polka dots or squigglies. I know that they have paper with like whatever movie you like. Sometimes they make paper that has your favorite characters on it. You can make owls out of that. That'd be cool. So many ways to get creative. So again, I'll use my Sharpie so you can see me tracing these on here. Don't worry if it's not perfectly round. God made us all different. Our eyeballs are all different shapes and sizes. So sorry, I'm so focused on my cutting. Forgot to share it with you. Here it is. So again, I kind of always cut it off and then do the last part. if you feel like part of it isn't, is a little pointy, just trim it a little. You can do it however you want. And then we're gonna end up gluing it on in just a minute. So again, I'm just gonna cut this out. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. And then I'm gonna move this out of my workspace because we're done with the outer eyes. And I'm going to get my glue stick and put the eyes on. So again, just gonna use my glue stick, put it on the back of the eye, and then I'm gonna push it on right about here, because we do want to leave a little bit of room for the beak. So you don't want your eyeballs right down at the bottom. So I'd say right about there. And then I'm gonna do my other eye, the outer eye that we're doing. And I'm gonna push that on. It looks kind of funny now, but once we get those eyeballs on, it's gonna be amazing. So I'm gonna do the beak next, and then I'm gonna do the eyes last. So I'm gonna cut out my beak. Or again, if you don't have your template, just draw a triangle. It should be a little bit long, or like tall, I guess is rather the way to describe it, so that it's a long beak. If you want to make a short beak, you could always do that. So I'm going to cut out my template. Got my scrap piece. And then I'm going to trace it on here. I'm going to cut that out. There's my little beak. So kind of what we did, if you were with us yesterday when we craft and we put our person in the hot air balloon, we didn't put glue on the whole back of the person. So today we're going to do something similar. We're just going to put glue up here on the top. So I'm holding my beak like this. You can pick either side. I'd say if you have pencil or marker, pick that side to put the glue on. So we're just going to do it right here. So let me show you what I mean. I'm just putting glue right there, so that when I stick it on my owl, this part that's flapped up that's going to go over our pages when we're reading isn't going to have glue on it. We don't need glue there. So I'm just going to push it down to make sure it really sticks. And then there's the nose. See, this side is starting to come up a little bit. You can kind of see it. I might just put more glue there. If you need to use liquid glue, you could do that. It kind of depends on the paper that you're using. My purple paper is kind of textured, so that's why it's doing it. Awesome. So now comes the fun part, the eyeballs. What we're going to do is we're just going to cut out our template. I'm going to cut on the inside of the black lines. Again, if you don't have a template, just do 2 circles that are on white paper. So I'm going to cut out on the inside. Now I'm curious, if I left the black, if it really would look like glasses. It would look like a very smart owl. I feel like in books, owls are always very smart. I don't know why that is. If you figure out why that is, let me know. I'm curious now. I think of the owl from Winnie the Pooh. Okay, my 2 eyeballs are done. So we're going to pause here for a second and talk before we actually get out our markers and our pens. So let me get my owl that flew away from me. He's on the floor. Come back, owl. Now's your time to shine. All right. These are owls that have eyelids. That's the best way to describe them. I would say this one is happy. You can see it's half circles and then 4 little eyelashes sticking up. This would be my happy owl. This one is my sleeping owl. It looks like it's snoozing on the job. It's the same thing. It's a curve, kind of like a smiley face, and then 4 little eyelashes. These are your options if you want to do eyelashes. I love both of these. Now the other one I'm going to show you how to do because it's a little bit more tricky to describe. So I'm going to do this one. But if you want to do these two, let me see if I put them on my pen. They might be propped up a little bit more so you can see them if that's what you're working on. So again, it's like a smiley face upside down with 4 lashes, or a smiley face the right way, the bottom of the smile, and then 4 lashes if you want it sleeping. So I'm going to leave them there, and then I'm going to do these ones with you. Actually, I need my pen, so let's put it on the marker. Put it on the marker so you can see it there. All right, great. So if we want to make these eyeballs, how do we do it? In your white circle, I'm going to draw it and then I'm going to hold it up for you to see it up closer. You're going to draw a big circle, not the size of the eyeball, but about that size. So you're going to draw a circle just like that. Then you're going to draw one small circle. Actually, let me look at mine to figure out, make sure I'm showing you. And then one small circle. Mine kind of look the same size. That's fine. It does not have to be perfect. What we're going to do is we're going to color around those 2 circles, but leave the 2 white. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to color with my marker, with my crayon, with my colored pencil, whatever you're using. I ended up with 2 smaller circles, which is completely fine. It will look like the eyes are glistening. And I just colored around them. See how I left them completely white? I'm going to do the same thing on the next one. And I'll walk you through it. I'm going to do a circle somewhere in my eyeball, just like that. And then I'm going to try to draw a bigger circle and a smaller circle. This is a little bit better. Always remember, if you mess up and you want to do it again, you can. I can make another circle right now if I wanted to, but I kind of like the way this is going to look. And then I'm going to color around them. These really are just going to make it look like your eyeballs are sparkling, that there's a little twinkle in the eye. Great. So there's mine. And see how they're different? Again, we're all made different, so that's okay. They don't have to match perfectly. This is actually going to give our owl so much character. So next, I'm going to put glue on the back of my eyeball. And I'm going to put it right in the middle of my outer eye. I'm going to have my black parts facing in. So when I put this one on, what I mean is I'm going to have this black circle closer to the middle compared to flipping it and having it face out. I could do that as well. It's all preference. You're the maker, so you get to do it however you want. Okay. I'm going to put it in the middle, push it down so it holds, and there is my new owl to join all my friends. Awesome. So as you finish that up, I'm going to clean off my workspace because I have a few things I just want to show you before we end today. But I'm very excited to see what you created. Make sure you send me the picture of your owl. Use the hashtag PNP Makers Club. That way we can see them. I'm going to put these here. I got confetti everywhere still. And then I'm gonna fix my camera one more time so that you can see me as we finish this video. Great, back with my regular glasses, sorry to disappoint. What I wanted to just talk to you about is yesterday we created a really fun craft together, so if you missed it, make sure you check it out. It's on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel, which I'll make sure that I share. If you're wondering what we did, here it is. We also have some awesome photos on our Facebook page that some of our makers made, so check out their creations as well. This was our multi-textured hot air balloon. So this was yesterday's craft. And then what is tomorrow? That is the question. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. Tomorrow is National Superhero Day. So with that, we're gonna be making superheroes. Also, do not be afraid to show dressed up as a superhero. If you have a superhero costume or if you wanna make a superhero mask out of paper or a paper plate, which we had yesterday, go ahead and do it, because there might be a surprise tomorrow when you tune in regarding superhero costumes. And lastly, if you're in the New Hampshire area and you want to craft with us in person, this is what we're going to be making on May 1st. We're going to be in Northampton, New Hampshire at God's Girls Christian Bookstore starting at 10:30. The cost is $10 per child. That's to cover all your supplies here in your Mayday basket. So this is a Mayday basket. You might be wondering what that is all about. Well, what I'm telling you is make sure you look on our Facebook page. We'll repost our flyer there. We have limited amount of space as we're really trying to make this like one-on-one crafting, an intimate event where you can have fun, meet some new friends. So make sure you reach out to me. My email address is on the flyer on our Facebook page sooner than later because spots are filling fast. But we want you to join us, and we promise we'll have more events like this coming for you in the future, hopefully also in Massachusetts for our Massachusetts friends. So thank you so much for joining us today. We had a blast, and we hope you join us tomorrow at 10:30 for National Superhero Day to create our superheroes. Have fun crafting!